Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie z tej strony Korle i zapraszam, a wilki to omiń, na kolejną część przygód w grze Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I nim wyruszymy dziś na fabułę, a mam nadzieję, że to będzie miało miejsce, mamy kogoś tutaj, kto chciałby się z nami podzielić jakąś misją poboczną. Zobaczymy, co z tego wyjdzie. Ty, Innkeeper. Masz coś nowego jeszcze?
What's new around here, innkeeper?
A couple of odd blokes settled down here recently. They don't talk to no one much, but from what I've heard, they've got problems.
Who are they?
I didn't ask, but surely not the noble sort. One of them's called Pasha, I think. Not sure about the other. Try and talk to him. Maybe they could use some help.
I'll give it a try.
And that's about it.
Sounds interesting. Thank you, innkeeper.
Do widzenia, do widzenia. Czyżby to tu koledzy od misji? Ja myślałem, że to może pan Ptaszek coś będzie chciał od nas. No dobra. O co chodzi? Słyszałem, że możesz mieć dla mnie robotę.
The innkeeper said you need help with something. What's this about?
Nothing gets past you, eh?
Yeah.
Wait a mo. I know you. We've met before.
Well, it's possible. I've met a lot of people.
I know. You helped our Carol out, remember? You carried some sacks together to our camp.
A faktycznie, no wiedziałem, że gdzieś był Pasza. To od tych zbójów tam, co węgiel nosiliśmy. Już pamiętam.
Oh yeah. You're with that fellow with the arrow in his head, right?
Exactly.
How could I forget? It's not every day you meet a fellow with a wooden shaft sticking out of his head.
So we'll have to have a drink to his memory together.
Well, something happened to him.
Aye. Our dear Carol passed away.
Przecież był nietykalny. Co się stało?
Oh? What happened?
Well, everything went to shit. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. We wanted to rob a convoy. A bit of gold, a lot of booze, and 3 guards at most. Only there were a lot more of them fuckers.
Shit.
It was a bloodbath. I don't even know how we managed to escape, but Carol got left behind. They picked him up and took him away. It's all fucked.
Well, if they picked him up, he doesn't have to be dead. Maybe he's locked up somewhere.
If only. But that's not what happened. They strung him up. There was nothing to be done. We fell right into their trap, like lambs to the slaughter.
Strzała nie miała go chronić?
Didn't he say the arrow protected him? That it made him unbeatable?
But he was!
Then how come they got him?
I don't fucking know. I don't know how this miraculous shit works. Carol just said it made him unbeatable. And now this. Fuck. So I don't know. I don't know.
Fuck. What are you gonna do now? Without a leader?
Well, I'm the leader now, but it doesn't matter. Because as soon as we show up anywhere, we're dead.
Are they looking for you?
There's a price on our heads. But more importantly, without the power of Carol's arrow, we're lost.
Ta strzała by pomogła, może znajdziemy, nie? Co?
Well, it seems like you could really use that arrow.
You're damn right we could. Before Carol got it, we were in a real bad way. We barely had anything to eat. A band of miserable wretches. And Carol, he was a sad case. Always getting wounded and beaten up. This one time he was running through the forest and stabbed himself on a tree branch. Would you believe it? Even a tree could beat the fella. And then along came that arrow. He told me once, after he got hit and was out of it, he saw a saint or something. It really changed him.
Ciekawe. Aż mnie ciarki przeszły. Ufnie.
When I listen to you, the hair stands up on the back of my neck. It's not the kind of story I hear every day.
Look, you're looking for a job and we need that arrow. How about you help us? I'll pay you handsomely.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I need someone to find Carol's body. And to get, well, to pull that arrow out of him.
Are you shitting me? You want me to yank it out of his skull?
Oh, I know, it sounds nasty. But Carol would agree to it. I'm sure he wouldn't want us to end up dead. He'd happily give us the arrow.
That's a job for someone with an iron stomach.
It's nothing too complicated. Find Carol's body and pull out the arrow. That's it. So then, will you help us?
No zachęć.
This is just about the oddest thing anyone's ever asked me to do. And I've had some odd requests, but... All right, I'll help you. Where should I look for him?
Well, that's the problem. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, we're off to a great start.
Hold your horses. I've got a bit of a lead. Our whole plan with the caravan went to shit near Sedlets. They've got a cemetery there, and I heard there was a bit of a commotion about the last execution. The local gravedigger lives near the cemetery. I'm sure he'll know something. That's about all I know. We can't go round asking questions. That'll cost us our necks.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
If you manage to get the arrow, bring it here.
No dobrze, to myślę, że możemy ruszyć jeszcze za strzałą i tak warto by było się przygotować do dalszej drogi, do tej jakieś eliksiry, inne rzeczy, ale to no właśnie, po wszystkich zadaniach pobocznych, tak, co zakładaliśmy pierwotnie. O kurka, znów do tego chłopa, znajdź grób Karola i odzyskaj strzałę, to pogadamy. Może już zapomniał, że go okradliśmy. Może nie będzie wypominał. Tylko dobrze by było tam trafić przed 21? Ktoś mógłby już nas tu zatrzymać. Halo, bandyci, gdzie wy jesteście, jak jesteście potrzebni? No żaden? Nawet tu na zakręcie? Ech. Dzień dobry, my na kolację. O, może tak?
What? You're covered in blood, my friend.
A ty cały w ziemi, ci nie wypominamy.
When is the last time you buried an executed man?
Why do you care?
Chcę zobaczyć jego grób. Stracony człowiek był moim przyjacielem. O, obiecałem pomodlić się na jego grobie. O, może tak, bo jak się dowie, że w sumie był stracony, a my jesteśmy przyjacielem, to jesteśmy bandytami.
I promised his wife I'd pray at his grave, so his soul would be at peace.
So his soul would be at peace, eh?
Exactly.
A bit late for that. His soul is burning in hell.
Oh? Why do you think so?
Because the last executed man I buried was a fucking sorcerer.
What?
You heard me. A sorcerer. When they arrested him, he had an arrow stuck in his head. But he kept on living. It wasn't no fresh wound. It was old, healed. The thing stuck out of his head like a tree branch.
No, masz rację, był czarownikiem.
Damn it, friend. You're right. He was a sorcerer. I have to see his grave, or you'll all be in danger.
I knew it, the fucker.
Muszę mu przebić serce, muszę mu odciąć głowę. W sumie głowa by się przydała.
I have to cut off his head, or he could rise from the grave. Show me where the grave is.
His head? We only stabbed him through the heart with a stake. Oh, shit!
That's why I'm here. His head must be separated from his body with a blessed blade, or it isn't safe.
Kurva, you're right! The grave is near the cemetery wall, under the big willow tree.
Thanks. I'll take care of the rest.
No, miłej kolacji po tej rozmowie. No i kurczę, jaka pogoda. Idealnie. Ale my też mamy teraz taki klimat. A co więcej, ten klimat został ostatnio doprawiony, bo okazuje się, że już w maju wyjdzie pierwsze fabularne DLC do Kingdom Come 2, więc jak dobrze pójdzie, to nawet z marszu polecimy z tematem. To jest jakaś łopata, może coś do wykopania. Jeszcze będę pamiętał... O, zbadaj świeży grób?
That looks fresh.
To co, tak by to łopata mnie zainteresowała, zacznij kopać. Teraz też nie tylko krew jest problemem.
Oh shit. It's him.
Gorzej jak się obudzi. Wyjmij strzał ostrożnie, siłą, rozbij głowę łopatą, ostrożnie.
Yeah. Phew. I've got it.
Co, serio się nie obudzi bardziej? Kurczę, myślałem, że inaczej to się potoczy. Ale cóż, nie mamy go zakopywać ponownie. Więc może tyle wystarczy. Może tyle wystarczy. Resztki żelaza, nie będę brał. To co? Lecimy z powrotem. Może coś nas złapie po drodze, jeszcze zahaczy. A mówiłem, że szybka akcja. Nie możemy ruszać z fabułą. Dzień dobry, panowie. Ciekawe, czy jeszcze tutaj siedzą, piją, czekają na nas właśnie, jak nasze... A, to zobaczymy po misji, jak nasze statystyki. Bo pewnie jestem głodny. Co, nie spać też poszli? Gdzie są bandyci od misji pobór? Tam gdzieś uciekli. Szalej. Gdzie to się towarzystwo ukryło? To my za misjami biegamy, a... No jest super. Nie kradnij. No dobra. Zarzucili chyba dobrą rzecz, jaką jest spanko, a więc my też się napijmy jeszcze dobrego miodu, żeby wypełnić czymś brzuch. Zjedzmy jednego konia i spotkajmy się o poranku tutaj. No panowie, nawet nie wiecie, jak łatwo było was okraść. Znaczy, teoretycznie, hipotetycznie, nikt was nie okradł.
I'm looking for Pasha. Have you seen him around here?
Oh, you must be that good Samaritan, helping us out with our little matter.
Maybe. And who are you?
They call me Heir. I've been waiting here for you. Pasha had to return to the camp. He's got duties to attend to. Leadership duties. See?
I get it.
So, do you have it? Did you find the arrow?
Of course. I'll keep my promises.
All right. Show it to me.
Czekaj, pokaż, no pokazać możemy.
Well, why not? Here it is.
Sweet Mother Mary. I never thought I'd see it with my own eyes.
I'll be happy to give it to you, but not for free.
I know. Pasha promised you a reward, but I don't have any money for you. I was supposed to wait for you here and take you to the camp. Pasha will pay you there.
Well, that's a shame. I was thinking it was too easy. Well, let's go then, eh?
Mam nadzieję, że Pasza nie będzie chciał sprawdzić, czy gwóźdź działa. Możemy się jakieś szybko przenieść, zając? No, nie będzie na nas chciał sprawdzić, czy gwóźdź działa i przynosi mu szczęście w każdym pojedynku. Jest niezniszczalny. Tylko ładnie podziękuję, zapłaci. Do widzenia,
Hey.
dobranoc.
Where did you find it? I mean, where is Karel buried?
In Sedles. There's a big willow tree near the cemetery. He's buried beneath it. What, do you want to put flowers on his grave?
I'd like to, but there's no time. Pasha has big plans with the arrow, so I reckon we'll start robbing again soon. I'm worried what will come of it.
What are Pasha's plans?
Robbing on a grand scale. Well, he's not like Karel. Pasha wants gold, booze, ores. Most of all, revenge. I'm afraid it'll end badly.
If he believes the arrow will protect him, he might try to do something too dangerous.
Aye. And he'll take us all with him for a few groschen, or because of some fucking vengeance. One by one, we'll end up swinging. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go back there.
Może czas zająć nowe życie, znaczy zacząć nowe życie. Zająć się czymś innym w nim, bo może tak. Może tak. Daleko do tego waszego obozu? Wydawało się, że... Jak to wygląda? Gdzie nas wyprowadziłeś? Ty serio chcesz aż tutaj iść? Tak z nami? Nie no, coś się musi wydarzyć po drodze. Nie wierzę, żebyśmy musieli taki kawał przejść bez jakichś większych problemów. Tam jakby ktoś stał w oddali, no ale dobra, zobaczymy. Może paszaczek.
Hey, listen, let's talk.
Pewnie, chętnie. Co się dzieje?
What's going on?
Hey, listen up. Pasha mustn't get the arrow. If you give it to him, well, you'll be killing us all. The man doesn't know when to stop. He'll drag us on raids we won't come back from.
What do you suggest?
Give me the arrow. I don't have any coin to pay you for it, but you'll be doing the right thing. You'll save a few good men from certain death.
Daj strzałę. Dlaczego nie chcesz, by Pasza dostał? Co zrobisz ze strzałą? Nie dam ci strzały. No wiemy, dlaczego nie chcesz. Znaczy, zakładając, że to, co mówi, to jest prawda. Co zrobisz?
If I give it to you, what will you do with it?
I'll go somewhere far away and start my own gang. I don't need mountains of gold or revenge like Pasha. We'll be happy with a little and we'll have a good life. Like with Carol. And the arrow will help us.
Kolejny, który wierzy w to. Dlaczego nie chcesz, by Pasza dostał?
You're the same bunch, aren't you? Why shouldn't Pasha have it?
Well, because if he gets his hands on it, he'll kill us all.
What kind of nonsense is that?
It's the truth. Pasha isn't like Carol. Carol was like an holy man. He preached like a priest. We kept talking about humility, about how we only need a little to live. He always said, an humble life can be a good life.
He sounds like a good man. A shame.
He was. Pasha, on the other hand, well, he's different. He keeps babbling about how we'll have mountains of gold just as soon as he gets his hands on the arrow, and how he'll take revenge on all those who did him wrong. Well, he's like a madman. I'm afraid he'll drag us into something that'll have us all swinging.
That's the risk of being a bandit, though. It can cost you your neck.
So it is. But I'm not going to hang just because Pasha wants his vengeance.
Dam ci strzałę, ale musisz skończyć z rabunkiem? No właśnie, może by coś z tego... Nie dam ci strzały. Nie, no może tak.
I'll give you the arrow, but only if you promise me you'll stop robbing people and find honest work.
I could lie to you, but I'll be honest. I was born a thief, and I'd like to die as one too. I couldn't handle being cooped up in some workshop all day or shoveling shit on a farm. I want to start my own gang. And for that I need the arrow.
Ła kurcze. No problem. Zaufać, nie zaufać. Znaczy, teoretycznie, jeżeli jego wersja jest prawdziwa, to fajnie by było mu ją oddać. Z drugiej strony, mam pewien problem z zaufaniem, bo się tak mocno podjarał, jak zobaczył tę strzałę. Ale z trzeciej strony, no w sumie przyznał się, że chce być dalej złodziejem i zginie jak złodziej, więc raczej by nie kłamał. Masz.
Well, all right. Here it is then.
Thanks, friend. I hope we meet again, and that I'll get a chance to repay you. Look after yourself.
Przynajmniej zakończył nam misję. No dobrze, wracamy do Ziszka, bo zasłaniasz nam szybką podróż. Może bym skorzystał jeszcze z łaźni, jak już jesteśmy tak blisko. Well. A gdzie jest ta dziewczyna, którą tu odesła... Ziszka, czekaj, jest misja. Bo my to odesłaliśmy dziewczynę. Z dzieciaczkiem. Nie doszłem. Wiktoria, to ty?
Good day, sir.
How are you?
Well, to tell the truth, it's not as bad as I imagined here. I'd heard so many stories.
Well, people do like to spice things up.
I know. But anyway, I feel good. I feel like I fit in here. Nobody's judgmental. Everyone helps everyone else out.
I'm glad to hear that. If you ever need anything, or if anyone ever bothers you, tell one of Dry Devil's men. They might be a bit rough around the edges, but you can trust them.
Fine, Henry. I will. Thank you.
Dobrze to słyszeć, że się wszystko to poukładało. Słuchajcie, dziewczyny. O, a ty jak masz na imię? No nie ma na imię. To tak, szybka akcja, bo na akcję chcemy lecieć. Potrzebuję skorzystać. Podstawa.
Great. Excellent.
Nie macie żadnych zniżek dla stałych klientów tu mieszkających nieopodal. W każdym razie czysty ciuch. Bardzo enjoy. I jedna rzecz jeszcze nie daje mi tylko spokoju. I jesteśmy gotowi na plan Ziszki. Obiecana fabuła w końcu będzie mogła ruszyć. Samuel Ziszka, czekaj. Bo gdzieś tu pan Jan Ptaszek siedział. Wcześniej przy stole na dole. Ale widzę, że uciekł gdzieś. Więc może przy stole wygrywkości jeszcze go znajdziemy. Czasem lubi... Parobek? Dobra, rozmawiaj, czyli graj. Spróbuję znaleźć pana Ptaszka i lecimy dalej. No jest! Za koniem się schował. Mamy coś tu jeszcze do obgadania? Kim jest cały ten Burbon?
What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remarkable knight, that Vakalin. He rambles on a lot, though. My head nearly burst listening to him sometimes, although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and worldly gentleman, if a little obsessed with wealth.
Zgadzam się.
I agree. He seems quite likeable. And he's got a score to settle with Sigismund, like we do.
He certainly has.
Co do twojej niewoli?
What happened when von Bergov hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was travelling with von Owlet's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Bergov came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
What was the problem with the room?
That I couldn't get out of there. You saw yourself when you came for me, didn't you? It's just that since Nabokov, when they shot the tower right down on my head and I was stuck there. Well, since then, I don't feel well in cramped spaces. Actually, I never did. I always preferred to be outdoors. But since Nabokov, it's worse than ever. I had a feeling the roof would fall on my head again and I'd be buried alive.
Szkoda, że żyjesz w zamku, nie wypuszczali cię, to może wszystko, nie? To...
I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the nobility lives in castles.
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle that only has huge rooms and lots of spacious courtyards. And above all, no secret passages.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this new castle of yours.
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a forge built so you feel right at home.
They didn't let you out at all. But you were in that room for ages.
No. They let us walk around the fortress a bit. We even went out for a ride twice, but they watched us like hawks. Not a chance of escape. But most of the time we were in that room. Like I say, I'm really glad you got me out of that hole.
What did von Bergov want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they can just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course it was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush, and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot. I only told him they sent us with that message and discussed the rest when we were gone.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit. And then he tried to loosen my tongue by letting me go hungry for a while. But he soon gave up when he saw he was getting nothing more from me.
My word. Nice work keeping him at bay. But the main thing is, you're alive and kicking. And back with us.
Indeed.
How'd you like Devil's Den?
Well, it's better than the Malashov prison. But not much.
Aren't the beds soft enough for his lordship?
I'm more bothered by how small the place is. You feel like the walls are closing in on you. But at least I can go for rides around the area.
Where'd you go for those rides?
Well, not very far, just from... Oh, damn. What's the place called? Horshan? Aye. From Horshan to Bohuniewicz and back. Why go to the ends of the earth when there's so much to see here? I found a nice hunter's camp in the forest beyond Bohuniewicz. It's not exactly close, but it's quiet at least.
Oh, Christ almighty. You haven't started poaching again, have you?
You could say that. This girl from Bohuniewicz took me for a lovely... ride.
Oh, that's enough. Spare me the details.
Ej, nie zabierzesz nas do tych Bohunowic? To sobie upolował, to sobie upolował. Good day, good day. Mikesz, a co możemy od ciebie wyciągnąć jeszcze? Ostatnie rozmowy ze wszystkimi. Kozłek?
Hey, I'd be quite interested to know if Kozlik really is your brother.
Now, how'd you figure that out?
I don't know. Maybe a few minor similarities?
Aye. Like he's the fool and always gets us into trouble. But if it was up to me, I would have strangled him with our shared umbilical cord. But I didn't want to make myself an only child.
Wait, that doesn't add up, does it?
What doesn't add up?
Well, isn't he older than you?
You see, he won't even let me enjoy that. That's just the way he is.
Younger brothers can be cruel, eh?
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Do you have a brother?
You know, I don't even know.
You haven't had an easy life either, eh? I reckon you didn't know your father.
Ah, you're wrong there. I even knew both of them.
Oh, aye. Every time something goes wrong, it's the fault of younger brothers or bastards. The whole world is built upon this simple truth.
Uh-huh. And can you give me an example?
Of course. Just look at what Sigismund is doing to his older brother, Wenceslas. Wonderful relatives. And they're not only pissing each other off, but all of us who have to live here in this fucking mess called Bohemia.
What did you do before you joined Zizka's band?
I tried to stay away as far as possible from that crazy goat.
You mean your brother, Kozlik?
Well, of course. He has an irrepressible talent for ruining every deal and scheme I can think of. So many times I could have been rich if this angel of destruction hadn't appeared.
Is it really that bad?
I don't know. I don't really keep tabs on his good deeds.
But doing good deeds is right.
That fella could return what he stole and still get caught for it. And he also falls in love with every woman who walks by and nods at him and greets him.
And what about you?
Me? I fell in love once. It was love like in a dream. But then that dream turned into a nightmare. So I got out of there. Women. They're a dangerous thing for us blokes. And the prettier they are, the more dangerous they turn out to be. You never know when the joy will turn into pain. God bless you, sir.
Bless, bless. Jeszcze zobaczę, czy diabeł ma coś nowego do powiedzenia, bo widzę, że niektórzy odświeżyli swoje kwestie. Chcecie o coś zapytać? Możemy poćwiczyć? Naucz, czemu chcieli cię wieszać? O, może to.
Why did they want to hang you?
I reckon my face bothered them. More likely they're pissed off I'm not a hypocritical fucker like they are.
And that's a reason for execution?
Unlike the hypocrites in the League of Lords, I'm not ashamed of what I am.
I know they call you Dry Devil.
Aye, they call me a lot of things, laddie. And that's what rankles the Lords, that I'm getting rich at their expense. And that's some fucking fat loot they stole from the king.
So you're on the king's side?
I'm on the side of whoever pays me, lad. And I'll tell you one thing. I've never gone back on my word. My noble word is my oath. Unlike that of bastards like von Bergau or von Rosenborg.
Have you been at war?
Aye, I fought in Moravia, and I'm still the hetman of the royal city of Znaim. You're just a yokel, so you hardly know what's been going on in the kingdom these last few years.
Naucz mnie
You're an
czegoś.
experienced warrior. So teach me something.
Not a damn thing, lad. Not unless you pay me well. But first, bring me some good wine.
All right. Here you go.
Ready. What is it you want, then?
Słuchaj, no nam się przyda co jeździectwo, mamy drzewce,
I
ciężko.
want to
może.
see what you can do with a mace.
Ha ha! Good choice. It's better than a sword when you're up close. All right, then. I'll show you a few devilish tricks.
Dobra. Więcej się uczyć nie musimy, bo i tak my korzystamy z miecza. Fajnie, fajnie. Czarty, jeszcze chciałem cię o coś zapytać, zobaczymy. Czy coś na... A. Okay. Nic więcej nowego nam nie powie. A nasz przyszywany niedoszły brat Samuel? Nic, Mikesz nic, Kozłek też już nic nie powie. O, komar.
Tell me something about yourself. We barely know each other.
No cóż, nie znamy się, ale przeszkadza ci to?
What? Speak slower. I can't understand you at all.
A co mnie to obchodzi? Wiesz co? Jak chcesz ze mną pogadać, to przynieś mi beczkę piwa i 100 dziewów. Jak już to razem wypijemy i się zabawimy, to dogadamy się bez problemu.
Naucz mnie posługiwać się szablą. O właśnie, jak uwodzić niewiastę.
How is it that women throw themselves at you?
To dar od Boga, Henryku. A może to dlatego, że mam takiego dużego kutasa. Ale mam dla ciebie jedną radę. Jak już zbałamucisz jakąś niewiastę, to spróbuj sprawić jej przyjemność swoimi ustami. Będzie cię bolał język, ale zobaczysz, jaka ona będzie zadowolona.
Well, I didn't understand a single word, but I'll take it to heart. I'd like to get better with a saber. Do you have any advice for me?
Tylko jedną, przyjacielu. Tnij tak szybko, żeby wróg nie zdążył zrobić uniku. I staraj się stać trochę bokiem, żeby nie dało się łatwo w ciebie trafić. Ale przede wszystkim nigdy nie zaczynaj ze mną, bo zrobię z ciebie sieczkę.
Well, thanks then. Even if I don't know what for.
To myślę, że jakoś bardziej nas pouczę. Boklin gaduła, chodź. Masz szansę się wygadać. Co myślisz o naszej zgrai?
What do you think of our band of outcasts?
Well, I cannot say I expected to end up in this kind of company. I am more used to royal courts or at least wealthy burghers. But a man must accept his destiny as it comes.
What do you think of Zizka?
Le Chevalier Jan. Well, he's not doing badly for a minor nobleman, but I think he will never be accepted among the higher nobles and knights. That takes a lot more. Mark my words. I am a good judge of people.
Oby tak było. Katarzyna nie daje mi spać? O!
I can't get Catherine out of my head. I don't understand her. I'm sure you have more experience of love than me. What do you make of her? Why is she with us?
Ah, you're right. I am a connoisseur of love like I am of wine. But for my taste, Mademoiselle Catherine is of somewhat age vintage. Though, I have to admit she's full-bodied and fragrant.
That's not really what I meant. Why is a woman like her with us?
Là est la question. I had the feeling something terrible happened to her in the past.
So do I. But what?
I have no idea. But she is fond of you, if you ask me. Try asking her, and maybe something will come of it. L'amour.
Oh, come on.
I am a good judge of people, trust me. L'amour.
Ty, panie, l'amour toujours. Ja nie wiem, czy tego chcemy. No, tam jeszcze Rosa na nas czeka, pan Hynek, albo raczej Czart. O.
What do you think of Sir Hynek?
Ah, le diable sec. A capable chevalier. But I do not trust him. There is treachery in his eyes.
You think so?
My instinct rarely lets me down.
Janosz i Komar? O.
How do you get on with Janosch and Ada?
Oh, those two. Once in Kuttenberg, I also had a servant who pretended not to understand me and thought I did not understand him when he spoke German in my presence. But he was wrong. He is no longer my servant.
Czyli co, rozumiesz język polski? Jak z Janem? O, no właśnie, spędzili trochę nocy.
How do you get on with Sir Hans?
Oh, young Lord Chapon may be inexperienced and hot-headed at times, but he's the one of the few here who knows how to play chess. And I have a great respect for chess players. Needless to say, he has not managed to beat me yet. Godwin and Jiska can also play. And that devil in press clothing beat me. Merde.
No właśnie, co z nim?
Have you met Godwin?
The priest who is very skilled with a sword. Priests should not be such good swordsmen. That is what knights like me are for. In addition, he can play chess just as well as he wields a sword. And in drinking wine, he beats even the best Frenchmen. A man of talents. Or perhaps the devil is behind it.
Cały Boguta.
Have you had the chance to meet my half-brother yet?
Samuel. It is strange that he joined your, our group. It is not usual for his, people. But he's certainly a good reinforcement.
What do you think of Kubienka?
A good warrior, but he has no morals and no manners, like all mercenaries.
Well, I don't think he cares much about that.
And that is just the problem. How can you trust a man who does not want to be a knight?
Tell me, how did the siege of Kuttenberg go?
Ah, mon ami, poorly, poorly. But what could I do? Stand down from leading the defense like a coward? After all, I had to live up to my reputation. And at the time, it did not look hopeless at all. I thought it would be enough to stall Sigismund for a while before the Allied army arrived. And that would not have been so difficult.
Only no army arrived.
Précisément. The hope for a swift end melted away, and the courage of the burghers along with it. I, who fought in 5 countries, was relieved of command, arrested, and handed over to Sigismund.
Ale wasz atak na Trebusz skończył się katastrofą. Gdzie jeszcze walczyliście? Może tak.
What other countries have you fought in?
In Italy, against the English, here of course, and I will tell you about the others another time. In the meantime, however, I can pass on some of my experience to you. After all, I am not getting any younger, so it is time to pass my wisdom on to future generations.
Dobra.
I'd like to learn.
It will take some time, and a few groschen, mon ami. Acquiring my art came at great cost, so I cannot pass it on for free. Especially now when I have been injustly stripped of my possessions, and I must rely only on my sharp wits. Ainsi va le destin. So, what would you like to know?
A, broń! Myślałem, że z gadania. No dobra, to tylko strzelectwo nam chyba wchodzi w grę.
No doubt you're a master
Chociaż
of melee
broń drzewcowa.
weapons. But are you good with a bow?
Am I good with a bow, mon ami? You should see me hunt in the forest of Ardennes. I once hit a bison in the eye at 200 paces. You will never be that good, of course, but I will show you how to do it. And I think, with my instruction, you should manage it at perhaps 80 paces. Allons-y, mon ami. Let us not waste any time.
Tak sobie myślę, że może warto byłoby tę broń drzewcową też wykupić. Boklen, czekaj Boklen, tylko nim ruszymy na dalsze rozmowy, to ostatni list Henryka. O kurczę, bo to daje dodatkowe punkty doświadczenia. Słuchaj, naucz mnie.
I'd like to...
It will take some acquiring my, especially so.
To mieliśmy broń
As a
drzewcowa.
knight, you must know how to fight with a polearm as well.
Certainement, but not with a halberd or some other farm implement. Such things are good only for les Anglais. I would only ever use a proper poleaxe. 6 feet long, with a blade top with a spike for piercing heavy armor. Only such a polearm is worthy of a knight, and I shall demonstrate why. Allons-y, mon ami. Let us not waste any time.
Czy jest w tej ekipie ktoś, kto może trzeźwy? Bo tak każdy się buja, chyba że zmęczeni od tego czekania na nas. Słuchaj, Burbon, jedna rzecz tylko. Jedna rzecz jeszcze o przeszłości.
Sir Vaculin, you've had an exciting life. Tell me some stories.
Bien sûr. Your interest is gratifying and quite understandable.
Where does the name Brabant come from?
That is simple. My compatriots call me that because I am originally from Brabant province. And the name stuck. One day, I shall tell you about my place of birth, but I am sure you will long to hear about the conquest of Arezzo, yes? Or would you rather hear how I saved the King of France from certain death?
Ojej, co z królem? No dobra, po kolei.
Arezzo sounds interesting.
And so it was. That is where I earned my knighthood from the great Enguerrand de Concy himself, the commander of our Naples campaign. Enguerrand arranged his forces for battle, and I was put in charge of one of the cavalry units. Out of nowhere, the enemy appeared on our unprotected flank, and Enguerrand set me to hold them back so our main force could regroup. But I saw a gap in the enemy's main phalanx. I sounded the charge and sped forwards.
Wasn't that rather risky?
Un chevalier français fears nothing.
I reckon King Sigismund would think otherwise after Constantinople.
That was completely different. Alors, I caught them by surprise. I hacked my way to their standard and broke through all the way to the enemy's reservoirs. My attack sowed confusions in the enemy's ranks that encouraged the overlords who raced to join me, scattering everything in their path. And that is how we won the famous victory at Arezzo. Seeing that the force that was supposed to protect them had been routed. The city then surrendered to us. No doubt you had no inkling at Maleshov what a knight you had the honor to meet. And of course my feats on the field of battle do not end there.
Rzeczywiście gaduła. O, niezwykły manewr. Zobaczymy.
A bold maneuver.
Quite right. Courage is my middle name. Just as Monsieur Chapon says, Audantes Fortuna Juva. That day I was the bravest of them all and won the day.
So you disobeyed your commander and left your flank exposed. Your attack could have ended in a total fiasco. You were lucky the others came to your assistance and your entire force didn't collapse.
I hear thee speaking, but you are still wet behind the ears. So, I can forgive you. In short, I saw an opportunity and took it. Moments like that can decide entire wars.
What did your commander have to say?
He made me a knight and sent me to the royal court to inform the sovereign of our triumph.
I reckon he wanted to get you out of his hair.
Do not talk nonsense.
To zyskaliśmy na tym. Masz jeszcze jakieś opowieści?
What other feats have you performed in battle?
Oh, many, mon ami. For one battle does not make a warrior. It would take a week to recount them all, so I will just tell you about my second greatest feat. On the Italian field, we faced John Hawkwood, a ruthless Englishman and a fearsome warrior. Surrounded, we were at his mercy. Night fell, and we knew he would attack at dawn, and that would be it. But just then, Providence put an idea in my mind.
You went to parley?
Mais non! You cannot reason with les Anglais. Unobserved, I mounted my horse and set off to find help. And, La Dame Chance was exceedingly kind to me that day. As I rode away, by chance, I stepped it off of our horses. Thinking we were trying to break through, les Anglais went to head them off. But while the English were occupied with my Marseille, our units managed to flee. I saved many men from certain death that night, and many lords from the disgrace of capture. Needless to say, I was generously rewarded for my valor.
Ja nie wiem, czy my możemy go zabierać na tę wyprawę, bo to wszystko jakby z przypadku i trochę pokręcone. To naprawdę niezwykłe. Nie no, nie będę mu wbijał noża w serce. Dziękuję za tę opowieść.
Thank you for telling me the story. It was really interesting.
At your service.
Co z królem?
How did you save the King of France?
With Providence as my guide, mon ami, I came to the court from the field of battle to bring news of our victory, because, and remember this, the bearer of good news is always rewarded and cherished. But the king was in a bad mood and did not wish to be disturbed. Maybe I thought the news of our victory will dispel his ill humor.
How could you tell him if he didn't want to be disturbed?
Ha! I climbed up to his balcony and into his chambers to surprise him with the joyful tidings. And lo and behold, the king was writhing and gasping on the floor, overcome by one of his fits. Wasting not a moment, I dashed over to him and unblocked his throat, thus saving his life. In return, the king bestowed on me the title of Échanson, or cupbearer, and other generous gifts. And I then spent a while in his service at court. Unfortunately, though, Even the king's favor does not last forever, and minor mistakes can come to overshadow good deeds.
What happened at court that led to you being out of favor?
Well, perhaps I shall tell you some other time. Would you not rather hear about the glorious duel between Le Gris and Carouge?
Powiedz mi, co się wydarzyło na dworze. No.
Tell me what happened at court that caused you to lose favor.
Ah, a major setback and a gross injustice, mon ami. It is an unhappy memory, because it was the first time that La Dame Chance abandoned me.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can all learn from our failures. And I bet even your failures make for great stories.
Oui, that is certainly true. Very well, then. I suffered a combination of misfortunes all at once. But bad luck in business and on a hunt were the worst of all.
Chciałbym usłyszeć, nie, o swoich niedolach w interesach. Kurczę, to nie skraca nam listy tematów, tylko rozszerza. Ale może dobrze?
You were in business?
Of course. I come from Brabant province, home to the greatest entrepreneur of all. My birthplace gave me an unrivaled nose for coin and the reputation of a financial expert. I was nicknamed the Seer of Louvain, and also the End of Midas. That is, until I persuaded an important nobleman to invest a large sum in maritime trade with Africa. All the ships he bought sank in a tempest. He had to sell off part of his estates to pay off his creditors. Of course, he wrongly blamed me for everything and turned many influential courtiers against me. But my advice was sound. He was simply punished by God for fornicating with every wench from the Pyrenees to Brittany, bragging about it and thus bringing shame on his gentle wife. I told him as much, but some people never admit their mistakes and prefer to blame others.
Handel jest zbyt ryzykowny. No.
A sea voyage from France to Africa? You must have known that was a massive risk.
A risk, perhaps. But think of the fortune to be made. A man must think big if he wants to achieve greatness, no?
Big ideas often lead to big trouble. Storms, pirates, sea monsters, uncharted waters. It was a disaster waiting to happen, Baron. You should have tried the Baltic trade route.
You are right. That would have been safer. But that is under Hanseatic control and there is too much competition. Africa, mon ami, that is the land of opportunity. The Arabs sell to the Portuguese via Ceuta, and they sell on to us. Just imagine selling further and trading directly with African kings, cutting out all of those middlemen. Remember this, because one day I will be proven right.
Dobra. No, może jak się znalazł w Czechach, od końca polecimy?
How did you end up here?
Leaving the court with a modest sum, I launched to visit faraway lands. I traveled a lot, spending time in various countries and having many great adventures. When I learned that l'Empereur Charles, that great friend of France, had built the magnificent city of Prague in Bohème, I had to see it.
So people in foreign countries speak highly of Prague?
Bien sûr. It was abroad that I heard of King Wenceslas' silver city and its reputed vast wealth. I bought the abandoned Miskowitz estates and shares in the cotton-bearing mines. And for a time I settled here to provide for myself and wait for King Wenceslas, whom I wished to serve. But even here fate did not let me be. When Sigismund brought his army to the city, I appointed myself to lead its defense. For how better to make King Wenceslas aware of me than by saving his beloved city? Victory was assured, but the burghers had other ideas. The city was handed over to the enemy, and I with it, stripped of my possessions. I languished in captivity, until fate again stepped in by sending you to Malyshev.
No proszę, dobrze władasz naszym językiem. No właśnie, komar tak dobrze nie nawija.
Sir Vaclin, I'm surprised how well you speak our language. Where did you learn it?
Where do you think? Here, of course. Ce n'était même pas difficile. Perhaps I have already mentioned that I am guided by Providence? She endowed me with many talents, mastery of language among them. I can communicate almost everywhere in the world, and learn every new tongue in a trice. I now speak French, German, Italian, Latin, Hungarian, and Czech. Some English, though that is only a necessary evil.
Ten komar też coś o języku wspominał, że włada nim dobrze. Opowiedz o Barbance.
Tell me about Brabant province. Is it far from here?
Quite far. From Bohemia, you would go to Bamberg and then follow the river Main until it joins the Rhone. Then you sail down the Rhone until it reaches the sea. And there, between the river and La Flandre, you will find Brabant, with its wealthy cities. Anvers, Bruxelles, Louvain, and many others. But those three cities are the equal of Paris, Rome, or your Prague. Both the Dukes of Burgundy and the Imperial Princes would like to annex our land to theirs, because its flourishing trade has made it rich. But like everywhere else, you can only come into wealth by birth or by enterprise, which is how I did it.
What was the hunting incident?
We were out in the royal hunting grounds when I caught sight of a white stag. There had long been rumors about it, so imagine the prestige I would have gained by getting it. I set off after it, pierced its flank with arrows, and unleashed the hounds to finish it off. When I arrived, it turned out that my aunt had not killed a stag, but the horse of a lady, a court favorite of the queen's. I fell out of her favor, and all the doors became closed to me.
A nie mogłeś powiedzieć, że pomyliłeś go z dzikiem? Przeklęty pech.
You were damned unlucky. But that could have happened to anyone, couldn't it?
Quite right. I'm glad you are sensible enough to agree with me. A misfortune like that, which could indeed happen to anyone, would make lesser men roll with laughter. But the other lords were afraid I would outshine them, so they were waiting for a chance to get rid of me. And that chance came along, unfortunately.
Luckery and Cargouche. Sounds like a pair of jesters.
En aucun cas. Jacques le Gris and Jean de Carouge. These two great knights were in a legal dispute over an estate. But above all, when de Carouge was on a campaign, Le Gris fornicated with his wife. She claimed that he had raped her, while he said he had seduced him. And because everyone swore to their own truth on the Bible, the matter had to be settled by combat. First, they jousted. Then they fought on foot with sword and axe. Le Gris thought victory was in his grasp, but de Carouge suddenly pounced on him, wrested him to the ground, and beat him so terribly that he knocked off his helmet and cuirass. Even so, Le Gris refused to admit his guilt, and de Carouge drove a dagger through his neck. And if you promise not to tell, I will let you into a secret about that dagger.
Gdzie go znajdziemy? Dochowaj tajemnicę. Powiedz mi, zachowam to dla siebie. O.
Tell me the secret. I promise I'll keep it to myself.
Bien. As I say, de Carouge killed Le Gris with a dagger. And I found that dagger in the mud after the duel. A blessed blade, an instrument of divine justice. The dagger that ended the last trial by combat France ever witnessed. An item of great value. So, I had several copies made and sold them to rich French noblemen. That is how I first came into wealth. And I used the coin to buy the horse and armor I needed to set off in pursuit of glory in battle.
Dobry pomysł.
That was a good idea. I'd never have thought of that.
You still have a lot to learn, mon ami. But you're young, you have plenty of time. Just keep your mind and eyes open, like I did. It was one of the greatest things I ever saw, and I have seen a lot. Believe me. Half of France came to watch, including the king himself, who then banned trial by combat in France forever. I later told the story to anyone who was interested. One of my listeners, a certain Froissart, wrote my icon down and became famous. I could have written it myself, of course, but I am happy to help others find success.
Thanks for sharing your stories with me, Sir Backlin.
No, cały odcinek pan Waklin tutaj praktycznie zajął. Ktoś kubienka. No jak już tak gadamy ze wszystkimi, konkurs strzelecki, nie? Jakie są zasady, nie? Gdzie się nauczyłeś tak dobrze strzelać? Jedna rzecz.
Where'd you learn how to shoot so well?
Well, where would you say? It wasn't in the royal palace with that flashy master archer. You can be sure of that. It's the result of years of practice. You'll soon find out live targets are the best. And if they have 2 legs, that's better yet. But I have to admit, each year it gets harder to keep my eye on the target. My hands are starting to shake. That's why I need to drink so much. When I'm properly wasted, it cancels out the shaking. And then, my aim's like when I was a lad.
No proszę, to kolega. Przyznam,
to that.
że namawia do wzięcia udziału w konkursie. Bo Klyn może nas czegoś nauczyć. Kubienka, no jeszcze myślę nad tym konkursem, jak to już tak wszystko pobocznie nam idzie. Chyba z kim mieliśmy pogadać, pogadaliśmy. Jedyna osoba, która gdzieś tam być może miała coś więcej dla nas, to Boguta, bo ja mam ptaszek, to wszystko. Może Boguta się jeszcze za ten kryje. On tu lubi na górze stać. O, jesteś. Czy ty? O, jest coś. Pokaż mi. A,
Please show me that
technikę.
swordsmanship technique of yours.
Why not? I'd be happy to show it to you. But whether you understand it is up to you. Oh, at any rate, you need to be quick and thorough. Because for once, you aren't attacking the head directly, but rather the opponent's sword. When you knock it aside, you open up space for a deadly blow. Now come and try it a few times.
Tak za darmo? Chociaż jedyny sprawiedliwy. No dobrze, więc nauczyliśmy się nowych rzeczy. Rossę to ja chcę odwiedzić. Czym prędzej. Języszka, jeszcze pogadamy. Serio będziecie grać? Tak? Macie pieniądze? W każdym razie tutaj kończymy nasz odcinek. No nie udało nam się dojść do fabuły, ale myślę, że takie rozmowy na finał były też istotne. Natomiast no jakby nie spojrzeć na mapę, już jakby nie kombinować, w następnym odcinku fabuła, bo no nie mamy żadnych zadań fabularnych, typowych, pobocznych. To co tutaj było, ewentualne rozmowy, no to się skończyło. Dzięki za to, że jesteście, dzięki za to, że gramy razem. Grał z wami Korle. Trzymajcie się. Hej, hej.